Hey, welcome to the Senior Home Business Channel. My name is Matt Stafford. I'm here to teach you all things business. Today, we're going to focus on how to establish a home-based business. Don't get overwhelmed because if you Google this stuff, you're going to find 25 things you must do. You don't need to do hardly any of it. Stay with me right now, right here. You're going to learn today. Starting a home-based business can feel overwhelming at times because there's so much you need to do, right? Wrong. There's not a whole lot to do. I'm going to give you 3 things you must do to start a home-based business. See, when I grew up, nobody was talking about a home-based business. It's just like, go to the job, man, 9 to 5, go to the plant, go to the store, wherever you got to do, just get a job. We all know that stands for just over broke. But, you might need a job. You might have a job. But if you do these 3 things, you'll be efficient running your home-based business. You don't need to Google the stuff. Like I said earlier, you will find 25 different things. Oh man, if you're going to start a home-based business, go get your license, develop a website, make sure you have SEO, search engine optimization, and do all this stuff. Make sure you have your business plan. Make sure you go talk to somebody. Make sure you have $100 in savings in case something goes wrong, blah, 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 blah. Dude, screw that stuff. Here's 3 things you must do. Number 1, you've got to figure out what dollar amount are you satisfied with. Now, you might say, man, I'm satisfied with $1 million. No, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about some outrageous figure, something that's realistic, but powerful enough to pull you forward. Don't go, I just want an extra $1,000 a month. That'll be okay. Just enough to pay my bills, just enough to make my car payment and a few extras. That'll be okay. No, don't do it. Make it large enough where it pulls you. See, when I first started my business, man, my goal was $5,000 a month. That's all it was. And my home-based business had to survive. It had to click. It had to perform, or I was going to be in the unemployment line. But I was serious about it, and I had a dollar amount. And I knew mathematically what it would take to get there. If you don't know, you're just going to be doing something. How many people that are in multi-level marketing or something else, knocking on door for solar or whatever it is, and they're just trying to make a buck, man? You ask them very clearly, very succinctly, how much do you want to make? Oh man, I want to make a lot of money. I don't know, man, but this has huge potential and I'm going to make a lot of money. Well, what is a lot of money? Oh shoot, there's people that are making 80, 90, $100,000 a month. What are you going to make this month? What are you going to make in 6 months? See, if you can't answer that question, you're not going to get there. You're going to flounder is what it is. And then you're going to develop excuses along the way by not achieving your goal because you're not going to have a realistic goal to begin with. So don't do the $1,000 a month goal unless that really is your goal, but then learn to stretch that over time, right? So when I had that $5,000 goal per month, it quickly grew to $10,000, right? Now, I'm up into $80, $90, $100,000, that kind of thing, and then some, but I didn't start there. I started with something realistic where I was at, and I achieved that goal, and then I went on to something else. But the reason I start with money, it gives you a purpose in what you're doing. It definitely gives you goals. It gives you something to shoot for, not just work. Because see, I was taught all my life, just go to work, just get a job, right? Just over broke. Just go out and get a job, pay the man. Just do your 8 hours a day, do your 10 hours, work overtime sometimes, just go to work. And see, that gets old after a while. The grind gets old. I'm telling you, it might sound sexy on the internet when somebody's doing an Instagram post or a YouTube video and they're going, oh man, get the grind on, man. Well, sexually, that sounds pretty cool. I'm just kidding. But, professionally in business, doesn't sound too cool. And it may motivate you initially until you get out there, start doing the work, and then nothing is happening, or you're barely making it. You're not making what you thought you would make because you're comparing yourself to someone else instead of comparing yourself to your goal. What do you want? And make it realistic so you can achieve it and then elevate that goal. So I'm telling you, the first thing to do in starting a business, you have to establish an amount, a dollar amount, thousands, what you want and what you will achieve in the next 3 months. I typically do my goals 3 months and 12 months. I don't do typically, I think now, I haven't always done this. It's only been about a year and a half, 2-year-old information. But now in the last 2 years, I've been thinking more like 5 years down the road. But up until about 2 years ago, I really wasn't. It was like 3 months and 12 months. It was just like, what can I do in the next 90 days? And what is this business going to do in 90 days? What am I going to achieve in 30 days? And I'm going to duplicate that times 3 and get this amount of money. I'm going to count on it. It's like I hold myself accountable, right? I'm at the gym today and I'm doing a set of 10. And I felt like I was chinching on the leg press on 2 of them. just my own thoughts. So I said, all right, I'm doing 2 more. It's accountability. You've got to hold yourself accountable. And if you can't really do it initially, holding yourself accountable, get somebody else to hold you accountable, right? A spouse, a friend, someone you know, a coworker or whatever. Say, hey, I'm doing a side hustle. I need somebody to ask me how I'm doing. Am I making the calls, man? Am I out knocking on doors? Am I doing the work? Because we all want the reward, but you got to have the action, right? You got to have the work that's involved. So number 1, you got to figure out the dollar amount. Number 2, you have to understand sales. Now, depending on where you are, you might not understand sales at all. You might be a beginner. You never had a sales job in your life. You're very young. You could be old. You never had a sales job. So you need to learn sales. Maybe you don't understand negotiation or persuasion and those different things. You need to read books, go to conferences, pull up YouTube videos. I mean, pull up Brad Lee, pull up a lot of different people like that. And just in terms, they can teach you sales and get that ingrained in your head and your heart, be able to live it out, right? You've got to learn that. You say, well, Matt, how am I starting a business if I just got the dollar amount and I'm learning sales? What am I selling? Man, you're moving too far ahead. You've got to get some skill set. You've got to get some skills first in order to do your side hustle. Everybody wants to do the side hustle and go after something, whatever product and services it is, but not focus on the money and not focus on the skill set that you need, and that's sales. So you got to learn sales. And if you know sales, keep learning, keep integrating yourself into sales, baptize yourself in sales, but learn your pitch, learn the delivery of your eventual product that you're going to do, right? You got to be a master of this. And there's certain things that I do with people that are coming into my own academy. If you want to learn about a home-based business, you can get involved in this, click the link below, listen to a 15-minute webinar. When people call me, I've got a set of questions, but a lot of times what I'm doing is I'm just listening to them. I'm listening to their pain. I'm listening to their problems. I'm listening to what they want to achieve out of the academy. How can I help them? So that's part of a sales technique, right? Of listening. In my own referral business that I've got since 2018, we do a lot of business. We didn't do it at the beginning. You know, we got 3 move-ins the first month and we gradually moved on, but we didn't do a whole lot as much as compared to what we do now. But you've got to understand your business and learn sales and how to sell that service, in my case, and or product, what you're doing. So you've got to understand sales. No way getting around it. People that get into a side hustle, sometimes they go, man, I don't have time to learn sales. I'm not a salesperson. I'm more customer service oriented. I'm, this, that, I'll get somebody else to do it. No, you've got to learn it. I'm telling you, everything you do is all about sales. Knocking on doors for solar, it's about sales. Start a lawn company, going around mowing people's grass. You've got to go around and convince people for you to mow their grass. Whatever it is, at home, doing anything, selling a certain product, you need to learn sales, how to persuade people, negotiate, and all that. So to learn those things, and I can teach you some of those things. You hop into the academy. I actually teach my students that, but there's a whole lot of books and a whole lot of videos out there. You can actually develop these skills just online and learn it very reasonable, especially if you're buying a book for $20 here and there. You might spend $40 on books, and all the videos on YouTube free. Doesn't cost you anything, but learn. Do not try to circumvent that step. You've got to understand what the dollar amount is, number 1. Number 2, sales. And number 3, you got to decide on a product and or service you've got then to move forward, right? So you got to decide. You got to cut down your options. There's a whole lot of options, and move with conviction when you do decide, right? Don't have a whole lot of input from others. Don't say, well, here's a list of 10 things I can do and I'm passionate about, I believe in. It will make me the amount of money potentially that I want. This is the sales part of the game and the skill set that I have that complements this particular area, product or service. But don't take a list of 10 and go around your family and friends and say, which one of these you think I should do? No, take that 10, narrow it down with some pros and cons, down to 3, make a decision, and then run with it. And do not go back on that decision. You're 30 days, 60 days into the decision. Don't go, oh man, I probably made a mistake. I need to go do the other thing that I was thinking about. No, stick it out. I'm telling you, people that hop around from job to job, opportunity to opportunity, they miss their mark. I mean, there's a place for them if you would just give it time. My students, a lot of them come into the academy. Some are successful just like that. Others take a little bit of time. So you have to give anything, the maturation process, give it time, give it some time to stick in you. And so the market will believe in you, right? You don't want to wear one hat one day and come back and have a different company hat on and all that kind of stuff. You're like, man, what's this guy doing? So money, sales, and then pick a product or service and then run with it. Get sales. Then worry about your website. Then worry about business cards. Then worry about all this other stuff. I'm telling you, at the very beginning, 2018 in my business, I had a cheap Wix website. Now, I don't know what Wix website costs today. Back in 2018, I got one for like $9.99 a month. And then I got these cheap business cards, like $10, for $10. So basically less than $20 initially. I got into my business and I operated from this exact same frame point. How much money I wanted to make. Number two, sales. Now, fortunately, I came with about 20 years of sales and management experience, but I still had to brush up on some things because I never owned a home business. So I need to brush up on that. I mean, I was going to go from being a salesperson in a company just operating in sales. Now I've got to do QuickBooks, invoicing. Now I've got to do marketing and all this other stuff. But again, don't get overwhelmed by all that stuff. Focus on these three things and you'll be all right. If you want a home-based opportunity, click the link below and listen to a 15-minute webinar. It's about helping seniors at no cost, no obligation. It's about helping people get from where they are to where they need to be. And I'm telling you, you make a lot of money doing it. If you're interested, listen to the webinar. If not, still implement these three things in your next event, your next venture, and I guarantee you'll be okay. More than okay. You're going to excel. You're going to get to your place, your goals. You're going to achieve them, and then you'll get to the next level. God bless. I'll talk to you again.